welcome back to Wicked Willow. We are now possessed by a succubus, but we seem to have it under control.
Trust me, I would if I could. But the shop's closed.
This is an emergency! Can't we go visit her at her house or something?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That is so weird. You and Zarcy just said the same thing. Wait a minute. I just had a thought. Now that I'm out, aren't they just going to arrest me again?
Tanya was able to get the charges dropped.
She was? How?
I shouldn't say.
Why not?
So they have like a witch police or something. Or
yeah,
magic
or
police.
Like some sort of like council type thing.
But she was arrested and they didn't really like give her any trial or anything, so I was just wondering, what are the rules of the witch police or magic police?
I thought that she was arrested by actual police.
But she was put in magic jail.
Yeah.
So it's like, are the police don't see, no one seems to know about magic. So do the police have a special magic subdivision that they don't say anything about?
I thought that it was kind of like they put her in the cell and like the magic people arranged for this, like, didn't arrange for her to be there. They arranged to like meet her, find her there. That's what I thought.
No, because she went to jail and she went straight to magic jail.
But I didn't think it was magic jail.
It was magic jail, because remember they put a dampening field on her and gave her a magical cellmate.
But I thought that that was just a regular jail. The magic people just went into it and did those things. Doesn't, like, because they can create a dampening field around her? Your questions will be answered later in the story.
I don't think, because how would how is just putting them on bail? I don't really understand.
Because otherwise,
do the police officers know that there's also a succubus in that cell? Because that's already an established cell, because the succubus was already there.
I get, yeah, she's a magical being, so I didn't even like think that. I assumed like she could be invisible if she wanted to, but our questions will be answered later, so we don't have to.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't think about it and
No. I
explore
just
it.
meant. Okay.
I think it's best if you heard it from Tanya herself, when she's ready to tell you, Days. She'd just kill me if I gave you the talk before she did, wreck the whole experiment.
What?
You could wait, or I could tell you. But you'll owe me a favor.
I don't feel like trading favors with someone who says they don't play fair.
Fine. I'll tell you out of the pure goodness of my heart.
Your heart doesn't have any goodness. You admitted as much.
Oh, you're feisty, aren't you?
Ugh, just shut up!
She won't listen, but you can just ignore her, you know.
Ignore her?
Yeah, you should be pretty good at that. You know, like you ignored me when I told you to lay down a fireball on her ass.
You're, like, never going to let that go, are you?
Nope, he never will.
Can't you have a little sympathy for me? I'm the one that has to deal with the...
I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
Oh, I don't know which one of you is more annoying. Shadow, just get me as soon as I can visit Tanya. I'm going home.
So, Tanya, she's really something, isn't she? Totally gorgeous, but for some reason not interested in me.
Is that really what all that buildup was for?
It might not sound important to you, but you have to understand, sweet Willow. I always get what I want. So, a rejection really makes me ache in all the wrong places.
If that's what all this secrecy is about, I don't want to know.
Oh no, that's not the secret.
Wouldn't it be fun if the succubus is like, it makes us hit on Tanya? Because the succubus is like, oh, like Tanya turned me down. What if I possess somebody else and hit on her as this other person?
Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shadow didn't want me to say that Tanya's from a different set of fourth dimensional coordinates.
What?
What does that even mean?
You are a college student, aren't you? My word, what are they teaching these days?
I'm majoring in literature, not physics.
I hope at least you've had an adequate instruction in sex ed.
Ugh.
Fine. I'll put it into terms you can understand. Tanya resides in Chapter 13. You're in Chapter 93.
But, oh, whatever.
Oh my, what a delightful little abode.
Does that mean Tanya's also, like, a magical being?
Is that... I don't know. I just assumed she was because she's a witch?
No, I meant...
Or, like, is she, like, a succubus type thing?
Or, like, she is a magical being. Sorry. But, like, not a human, I should say.
Oh, okay. Alright. I was like, yeah, I thought she was a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch, Mari. God.
Yeah. I was like, did I miss something huge here?
Shadow didn't think so.
He has no taste. If I said this looked like a pad for a very sophisticated prostitute, would you feel offended?
You know, she is very old, so this level of luxury would be for a prostitute if it was 200 years ago.
Well, not even just that. She grew up she spent her life in a nunnery.
Yeah.
So, but she's been out of there for a while, right? So.
Yeah, but you know, I would imagine if you're like, I don't know, 500 years old, that's just a guess. Everything new is just still new, if that makes sense. It probably takes a while to adjust to
hold
things.
on. She knew that she was dying of bone cancer?
Which, I don't know if that's an updated term, but yeah, you're right. They did have a different word for cancer back then. But she didn't. No, the succubus told her that she was dying of bone cancer.
Oh.
She didn't know. But the
oh.
fact that the succubus used the word cancer might be an indication that she probably died in the early 19th century.
Yeah, because I feel like if she had said you're dying of bone cancer, then it would have been like, what's cancer?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or, you know, they didn't think that much about it.
No, we will dissect every
All
line
right,
of
so
dialogue.
when exactly did they start using the term cancer? What's the timeline? We're going to figure this out.
Oh, Bat Spleen Friend says Tanya in this game literally convinced me to grow out my grays. I'm 31 because she looked so fantastic.
I'm probably going to change my mind as soon as this happens, but I'm like waiting to have gray hair, being like, I'm going to look so good. I feel like I'm going to look amazing with gray hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would.
I'll keep it to myself then.
It doesn't work that way. I already heard it.
So sensitive, aren't you? You should at least be happy we are home, safe and sound.
We? This is my place.
Wherever you go, there I am.
Death? Okay. That's a famous quote from like a really old poetry about death.
Let me just Google it while you click ahead.
Et in Arcadia ego. Wherever you go, there I am. It's about, like, it doesn't matter where you are, you're gonna die.
Since I'm inside you, you know.
Do you have to phrase it like that?
Like what? Like we're lovers?
Yeah, even in paradise, I am here.
I'm going to bed.
Oh, you want to lie down with me?
I want to lie down to sleep. Sleep. Can you handle that?
I don't know. Can I? Hey, Willow.
What?
What's the worst mistake you ever made?
Is that your idea of casual conversation? You're worse than Shadow, you know that?
Oh, are you trying to hurt me? Words won't do the trick. But now that I'm in your body, I do feel physical pain. Your pain. Why not try biting down real hard on your lower lip?
What the hell is wrong with you?
What if a demon possessed somebody who had like a chronic pain, and then they're like, "Oh my god, never mind."
I would assume that their magicness would override that.
Well, if we're assuming that, okay, yeah, actually, if you have chronic pain, try summoning a demon, see if
Yeah.
they fix that.
Just get possessed.
That might actually work, unless the demon likes it. Then, oh gosh, I don't know. But I don't know. Just it's worth a shot.
Asked and answered, sweetie.
Yeah, because, like, if they're immortal beings, I would think that they would be able to do something about, like, the pain, or like...
Yeah, but if they're demons, I'm sure they're gonna be like, "Yay, you're suffering," you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Traditionally speaking.
Now, out with it. Worst mistake.
No, I refuse to dignify that with a response.
Oh, come on now. I'm sure this isn't the first time the voices in your head have asked that question when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah, you're right. The worst mistake? Well, that one's easy. Not driving my parents to the airport.
Because they were killed in that crash?
Wait, how'd you know about that?
Oh, Shadow and I go way back.
Everyone stop talking about our private business to demons.
But how did Shadow know? Forget it. Just let me sleep.
You know, Willow, if you were the one driving, all three of you might have been killed.
I know. Part of me thinks... Never mind. It's stupid.
Tell me.
Part of me thinks it would have been better that way.
You'd rather be dead?
We were a family. A happy family. We had a happy life, you know? Well, now what's my life all about? An education I couldn't give a shit about? Powers I don't understand? Robbing banks? Getting possessed by fucking demons?
I'm gonna be honest, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I
you know.
mean, also, like, you know, she's a sex demon.
Yeah.
Succubus, so, like, it's, you know.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Also, if I was her, I would just live the rest of my life. They're like, "Oh yeah, you can just manifest things happening," and then they show me like all these crazy things happen. I'm like, did I manifest my parents dying?
And then pay a horrible price for everything. Hold on. Pink Lady says, did her friend go to prison for insurance fraud? So we went to prison
For insurance fraud.
Yeah, because our friend got in trouble, and then we came clean that we did it, and then they arrested us.
But the thing that makes me think it was magic jail is she just passes out and wakes up in jail. No, like, persecution or anything. No anything. Just we wake up in jail. And you're in magic jail.
Wait, what? As opposed to what?
As opposed to being arrested, being, like, having all the things happen to you when you get arrested.
I suppose I just thought, like, that was a holding cell.
Well, yeah, but she, like, she passed out and woke up in it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that's what the transition was. I thought that was just kind of like a game transition. So it's interesting. I just, you know what I mean? Like a transition wipe where it's like, oh, and now we're in jail.
Yeah, so her friend did not go to prison. Willow went to prison by saying that she was the one who did it, and they immediately put her in jail.
Technically, I haven't possessed you. Not yet, anyway.
Whatever. I'm not afraid of you.
Fear isn't the only way I can make your skin tingle.
And if you could do more than that, you already would have, right? That's why all you're doing is just annoying me.
Look at that little smarmy face. Like, gotcha.
Fair enough, sweetie. For the record, I'm glad you're not dead. And not just because you helped me escape from that prison.
Oh.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
And for anyone who's curious and left before we figured it out, we did figure out what type of hat she's wearing. It's the goth hat.
Yes, if you Google goth hat.
It like has the wide brim, but it's like sitting back on her head, so then it has this.
Yeah, that was important.
It
We
was
were
important.
like, what is this hat? What is it?
We spent a very long time
Well, I was like,
Figure
no,
it out.
it's kind of like I knew what the hat was. I had it in my mind. I just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah. You know, and I think that the reason that I wouldn't have thought of that is also because, like, I have, like, a smaller head. So if I tried to wear a hat, like, pulled back like that, I literally think it would just fall right off my head.
I have the opposite problem. I have an enormous head. I have the big, like, my head is so big. And you wouldn't think it because my boobs are so big. So you're like, oh, she must have a small head. No, I'm just big. And, like, I can't find hats that go over my head. They just don't stay on. They just sit on top.
Well, then you should get that hat because it just sits right on the back of your head.
Yeah, but it's going to be too small to, like, hold on, you know?
Oh.
The cranial part is going to be too small. Unless I get pins or something.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, the feeling is not mutual.
We'll see about that. I'll allow you to get your beauty sleep now.
You know, you could
How
get...
generous of you.
You could get a cowboy hat because they fit the brim to the size of your head, so you could get one of those like big cowboy hats.
Yeah, they do come in sizes, different sizes.
Mhm.
That's true.
I mean, baseball caps do too, technically, but
Yeah,
customgothhats.com.
Yes,
that real?
I know it is.
Is that real?
You don't have to tell me.
I need to know, is that real? Because I do want that goth hat. I genuinely want it.
LOL, no.
Oh.
I was being sarcastic. Any luck?
Nope, we're fresh out. Get it? No, but seriously, she's not there.
Guess you're still stuck with me. So this is where you decided to take us for our first date?
Oh, first off, this is not a date. It's a vegan cafe. The first one in the whole area, actually.
Aw. Oh yeah, it's 1993.
Mm-hmm.
What is vegan? No
Oops.
cream in your coffee. No butter on your buns.
I accidentally skipped with her explanation. Oh wait.
It means we don't do animal products. It's a lot more humane that way.
No cream in your coffee. No butter on your buns.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Disappointment doesn't begin to describe it. You're denying yourself the best culinary delights, all for the sake of some dumb animals?
It's not just for them. Being vegan is actually healthier, especially in the long run.
So you want to sacrifice your happiness today, in the prime of your youth, just so you can be alive a little longer when you're old and weak?
Ugh, leave me alone.
Hey, I can understand why that demon would think that. She's like, no way, dude. I
Well,
wasted my life.
She's also all about like, I mean, she's now like all about like pleasures and like not denying yourself. Also, I do want to point out that the creator of this game is also vegan, so I'm sure they've heard
They've heard it all.
some people actually say stuff like this. Yeah.
I think in terms of the character, the the succubus whose life was all about denying herself any sort of physical pleasures at all.
Yes.
In her opinion, she'd be like, so what? You know? But to Willow, obviously animals and personal health are important to her.
Willow! You're back from...
They dropped the charges.
They did? Oh, Willow, what a relief. How did you manage to pull that off?
It's a long story.
I bet.
Trust me, I'd love to get into it, but I really can't.
Just as long as everything's okay. I understand the need to keep secrets.
What?
Never mind. I'm just glad everything's sorted out.
Speaking of that, how's the insurance?
The insurance company made an exception, so I got my pills.
Yay, pills.
Oh, the insurance company made an exception?
That's good. I wonder what that was about.
They don't make you high, do they?
Wait, what was it about? Was the
Oh,
insurance
so-
company being nice?
Well, no, I'm kind of wondering, like, I wonder why they would make an exception. Maybe I'm just basing it off the U.S. healthcare system, which absolutely sucks, and they never do anything nice for you. There's no such thing as, like, making an exception. That's not something that, like, an insurance company...
Maybe some other magical people interfered.
Yeah, well, that's why I was saying I wonder, like, if there's something more to that. Or it could just be, like...
Or Avery's lying.
Or it could just be, like, we wanted to make sure Avery didn't die. Like...
No, Willow, my medication does not make me high.
But you're still allowed to get high while you're on them, right?
Oh, someone left a great comment saying well, we shouldn't kill Avery's mother, biological mother, because it's robbing Avery of the closure. So my proposition is we bring Avery with us to steal her liver. And then kill her, because then he gets to kill her if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that covers all the bases.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because so he has a bad liver, and, like, we were talking about possible solutions, and his mom sucks. And so we were talking about possible solutions to this being killing her and taking her liver for Avery.
Yeah, I think that's works. But then they brought up the good point, like, we shouldn't take that from Avery, so we should bring Avery with us.
Murder road trip.
Yeah, so I think that covers is, like, if Avery comes with us, he can kill her, or we can be like, Avery, do you want us to kill her? And then he says yes, and...
Like
so
that
on.
part in the craft where she's like, do you want me to kill her? Remember
Yeah.
the sign?
I still think all the side characters were right and the main character was wrong in the craft. I have a lot to say.
I didn't ask about that.
Ooh, rookie mistake, Avery. Rookie mistake.
Men don't usually interest me, but there's something different about this one. Is he your lover?
No, he's my best friend. We're close, but not like that.
I bet he wishes you were a little closer.
Willow?
Yes? Sorry, I'm just not really myself today.
I figured something was up when you weren't in class today. Lydia seemed pretty sure she was going to win the fairy tale story competition.
Oh, shit. The deadline's next week, huh?
No, not next week.
Okay. Whew. I could not handle that right now.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Damn. I better get cracking.
Ugh. Why are you putting yourself through this?
I'm a writer, suffering for the craft, right?
You can suffer for your craft anytime. Maybe you're more interested in the prestige of winning the contest.
I don't give a shit if I win. I just don't want Lydia to.
Why not just seduce the professor into giving you the win?
It's always about sex with you, isn't it?
I missed the part where that's a bad thing.
Well, I'm not going to use my spells on them. I've got the whole karma thing to worry about.
I never mentioned using magic. I just said you should use seduction. How long has it been since you used your natural charms?
Ew! No. Have you ever seen that, Professor?
Doesn't arouse your appetite then? Fine. Just threaten to turn them into a frog unless they obey your every whim. That way you don't have to burden yourself with this tedium.
I wouldn't exactly call it tedious.
Actions speak louder than words.
What's that supposed to mean?
If you wanted to write, you'd be writing. Instead, you're having this little chat with me.
Called
Given
out.
your feelings about me, I'd say that speaks volumes.
Oh my god, just have, like, demon sex.
She called her out for procrastination so hard.
Got her.
She's like, yeah, well, if you actually wanted to be writing, wouldn't you be doing it? And she's like, oh, you got me.
You're right. You know, when I was younger, I used to actually enjoy writing assignments.
You're still procrastinating. Just start. Just start doing it right now.
Oh? You used to?
Side tangent about procrastination. I promise you that thing that you're dreading doing is gonna take like an hour at most. An hour at most. There's always like...
I promise if you put it off till the last minute, you will get it done much faster.
No! That's just so much more stressful. It's so much more stressful. It's taking me so long to like figure out like, okay, leaving it to the last minute just makes me stress the whole week until like when it's due. If I just actually finish it early and turn it in, I feel so good because I'm like, I can relax until like the next due date. If you just get it done, it's so much less stressful. It's so much less stressful.
Or you can put it off till the last second and then you just focus, like, well, I'm not saying that this is good advice, but literally, like, my approach was always, like, do it the night before, and then because you're under the gun, you're, like, getting it all done in as little time as possible.
What you're saying is real. However...
That's not advice that I would give somebody, but
You just did! You just gave this advice to hundreds of people.
But I'm saying, like, the times when you get something done early, what? You end up taking 2 weeks to do it instead of 6 hours the night before?
Or you can spend
It's a time
6
saver.
hours on an earlier night and then relax.
I think the problem I run into is that if I start things too early, then I don't cut myself off. I don't know when I'm done. So, like, I have to work at this is just usually what I do. If I work at deadline, then it's like there's a cutoff point and I know I have to hit it. Whereas if I start things too early, I will literally just keep tweaking and fussing with something and being anxious about it. And, like, it just ends up taking me a lot longer and more effort.
For me, the cycle of, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, gives me so much anxiety that it just, like, decreases the quality of life I have just overall. So if I just get it done early and do it and have everything done, I feel like I can sleep. I can sleep and actually feel good. And I actually... have a big procrastination problem, which is why it's like good for me to finish things early because it's hard, but overall for my mental health it's better.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a big problem with procrastination. I think that my way of dealing with it is just different, you know?
Oh yeah, no, both ways are valid, but I am right.
I don't know. It takes me less time to do things.
Yeah, no. If that's how it works for you, that's how it works for you.
Yeah. They extended the final thesis deadline of my MA to November 1st. I will do it October 31st. So the one thing I will say that I do like way in advance is I read through all the directions so that I know what I'm supposed to be doing because basically you want to read through and see if there's anything that like has to be taken care of immediately or that you need advance time to do. And so then once I read through everything and I have a plan in my head, then I just wait to do the plan.
I am actually currently thinking about my assignments and thinking maybe I should do this immediately right now.
Yeah, the first step of a task is always the hardest. It's true. Like, the planning stage.
Whenever I sit down to write a paper, I'm like, God, this is going to take forever. If I literally just didn't fuck around, it takes like an hour and a half. Because I'm a pretty fast writer. But, like, oh, there's a website called Grammarly.com that checks your grammar for you for free.
Oh,
so
I hate that.
You hate it?
Yeah.
Grammar or Grammarly?
No, Grammarly.
Oh, why?
Because it just well, I don't know. Every time I've used those tools, they just end up, like, making a mess of everything.
Oh.
But that's just... I feel like if you have Word, you're generally okay. I don't know.
I use Word, but I felt like it really helped for me. But that's if I'm writing an academic essay where I have to make sure all the tenses are in the same stuff. So that picks it up for me.
Yeah, when I used it, I found that it just ended up changing things to be incorrect.
Well, that's why you gotta read everything. Because some of them are right and some of them are wrong.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know. Like, it never fixed anything for me. It always just tried to make things wrong, if that makes sense.
Ah, okay.
Idea for the stream. We all actually sit down to do our stuff.
All right. Back
All
to...
right. Anyway.
What caused that little candle to be snuffed out?
I don't know. I'm not sure it was ever lit to begin with.
Bank robbers and serial killers don't bother you. But you're halted in your tracks by an empty page. Pathetic.
All right, fine. I'll get started right now.
Wait, is this demon actually good for us?
What now?
Apparently, I've also got some bad writer's block.
Maybe a little massage will help with that.
You're inside my body. How could you possibly give me a... Ah! Hey!
Oh my
That
God.
tickles. Stop that!
Fine. Your wish is my command.
Zarcy coming in with the motivation to do your homework and respecting your boundaries.
I 100% thought that was going to turn into masturbating.
It might. It might still.
It might still.
How'd you do that anyway?
Reconceptualization.
In English, please?
That was English. You should hear that word in my native tongue.
You know what I mean.
If only that feeling was mutual.
Fine. Don't tell me.
I mean that I'm understanding our situation a little differently. At first, I thought I was a prisoner. I went from trapped inside that little cell to trapped inside your little body. But now, I'm realizing it's more like I'm a hand inside a beautiful glove.
The vision in my head is not.
I don't like where this is headed.
It's not the glove's place to question the fingers.
Okay, this is just getting creepier and creepier.
Meat puppet.
Don't let me bother you too much. You have a paper to write.
Yeah, that's right.
Still coming up dry? Don't worry. I'm happy to help get things going for you.
I'm done with massages, thank you very much.
And you said I had a one-track mind. No. I meant with the project. I've got just the thing. The most amazing story is right here.
Where?
We are the story. And since you were so impressed with my vocabulary, I'll even help you write it.
I don't know.
What? Do you think I'm going to tell on you? There's nothing dishonest about it. Lots of people have a muse. You're just lucky enough to have one inside your head.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Lucky me.
Class is over for today. Before I go, I'll post the results of the short story competition. Though I can't imagine anybody will be surprised.
Uh-oh. Did Lydia pull it off?
Let me see. Willow, you did it!
Well, you don't get all the credit.
But I don't get something. The professor said it wouldn't be a surprise.
It's not. Willow, you're a brilliant writer, at least when you want to be. I'm so
When you
happy
want
you're
to
back
be.
to taking your academics seriously.
Okay, Avery, can you stop talking down to us?
That's like,
You're so fucking rude.
I hate it when people say that they're like, you're really this when you want to be, and I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck off. Like, did that help you, Avery, or did it help yourself feel smug? Asshole.
Willow, I just heard. I suppose congratulations are in order?
What do you want, Lydia?
You assume just because we speak, I must want something from you.
Alright, to be fair, Lydia, in her own bitchy way, does try to be nice. She's like, hey, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah, I just said that.
Well, it just so happens that you are correct in this instance.
Okay, maybe Lydia is just like that.
Okay.
Would you mind terribly letting me read your story?
You want to read my work?
Huh.
What's in it for you?
Well, I just thought.
Well, you thought wrong. No, I'm not letting you read it. Buzz off.
Okay, I feel like something's going on with Lydia.
Well, Willow, Perhaps we'll connect again later.
Yeah, whatever. What was her problem?
Oh, I feel kind of bad for her. She's not used to losing, is she?
I could get used to it. We gotta celebrate. What do you want to do after class?
I have a feeling Lydia's like
A religious weirdo?
a religious weirdo, but also might have a crush on Willow in some way.
I can think of a few things.
I have a meeting of the Dryads and Demons Club at the coffee house, but I don't know if it's really your thing.
What?
Oh, you know what it is? It's like, maybe it's the whole, like, oh, like, I have a crush on her. I hate her so much. I fucking hate her. Like, you know.
Maybe I'm reading this completely wrong, but I feel like Lydia, she like has a toxic attitude, but she's trying to befriend Willow, but she doesn't know she has a toxic attitude because all she does is hang out with religious people. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Like Lydia thinks that she's a good person because of everyone that she hangs out around, and that she likes Willow romantically or just as like someone she thinks is cool. And so she like tries to talk to Willow, but she doesn't realize like everything she's doing is condescending, rude, and like and bad.
Oh.
Like, cause she only hangs out with like super religious people. She doesn't realize that she's being rude. She thinks she's being like a savior. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I got the impression that she knows she's being rude, but I don't know.
or maybe she does know she's being rude and she just like doesn't really know how to communicate.
I guess because like I took it more as like she has that like passive aggressive religious judgy thing.
Yeah, and like I think she does know that, but I think in a lot of religious circles, not all religious circles, that's like normal behavior, and she might not know that that's like not okay. I think a lot of religious circles have a really judgy atmosphere, and they don't realize it's like not okay.
Dryads
Yeah.
and
Okay.
demons?
I don't know.
Boring.
I don't know. I think that they. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it might just be that she's just mean.
Because I think that like, I feel like that gives people a bit of a pass.
No, I'm not giving people a pass. I'm giving people the ability to change if they learn better ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I guess like I always just like I feel like people do. It's like kind of like people know when they're being racist, like, you know, or and people know like you know that whole argument about like when religious people are like really mean to other people or like really shitty, and it's just like I feel like they know that they're being shitty, but they're just so like I don't know.
As someone who was raised Catholic, I can attest to the judgy thing. Like, I think people don't realize, not everybody, like it doesn't excuse it. I'm just saying that Lydia seems to have the ability for character growth.
Hey, given your persuasion, I thought it might be right up your alley.
Would you want to play a game about humans written by demons?
To clarify, you don't have to actually have sympathy for anyone who's rude to you for whatever reason. I'm talking about in terms of Lydia's character. Does she know that she's being a bitch, or does she think that she's acting holier than you because she thinks she actually is that way because of how she's raised?
I didn't think so. Let's just skip it.
Avery's my best friend. I'm going. Of course I'll come, Avery.
You know, they based this game off my life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You can look at the
face.
materials if you doubt me.
Just because there's a succubus playing piece here doesn't mean she was based on you.
Doubt me if you want to, Willow, but I know the truth.
I guess it's kind of like how when people leave the Mormon church, where they're like, I just like had no idea, and then they leave because they were able to get the education that they needed to make a sane, rational choice.
Yeah. So there's some interesting thoughts in the chat, which is also a lot of people use religion as an excuse to not be accountable for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know my mom justifies a lot of shit because it's the truth, that type of thing.
Hi, Hi, Geek Remix. I really love your channel. How's your day going? You make me happier and stay happier.
You make my day happier. Stay safe.
Oh yeah. What? Anyway. Sometimes people use being an atheist as an excuse to be rude to religious people. Either way, I think a lot of people grow up with like internalized homophobia and like terrible ideas because they were never given any access to real education, which happens a lot in the United States, where they either force people to go to a private school or they homeschool their kids so that their parents make sure they don't have access to a different set of information.
Well, I mean, it's like there's states in the U.S. where it's like they don't teach evolution.
Mm-hmm. So
because it's like not like compatible with religious teachings.
If you're young like Lydia, you first of all, you don't owe anybody literally any energy ever if they're being mean to you or not. Actually, you don't owe anyone anything. But in terms of just Lydia on her own as a person, she might not have access to the information she needs to make the right choices.
Yeah, I got the impression they're college age.
Yeah, but that's
No,
still
I'm
young.
just reading what they said. So I got the impression that Lydia is just like condescending and thinks she's better than people. But I don't know.
Which I think is often a function of religion. But either way, now we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Willow, you look a little spaced out.
Just kind of lost in my own thoughts. I think I get what the little numbers do on this character sheet. Kinda, anyway.
You know, another thing to think about, and that, like, I'm not sure if this is true, obviously, because I didn't write this game, but I just remember back, like, when, like, I was, you know, like, late teens, early 20s, and like, remember how it's, like, you're getting ideas about things and, like, finding your identity and learning about things in the world, and you get, like, very fixated on ideas and, like, being right about them. So whether it's, like, Willow being really intense about veganism or Lydia being really intense about religion, I feel like sometimes it's, like, people go to college and they find their thing and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna, like, go, like, 500% with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I just remember a lot of, like, conversations in college where it's, like, people would, like, yell at each other and, you know, because one person's an atheist, one person's this thing, and, like, instead of just being like, oh, okay, we'll just agree to be, like, different, everyone just wants to be right. But I don't know.
I think back on a lot of people I've known who have said and done things as younger people, and then as they learn new things, they're like, oh, that was kind of like a stupid thing to do or say, and they become older. So I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility, nor is it an excuse for Lydia's behavior, but I don't think condemning someone for the rest of their lives for what they do in college is... Unless they're, like, a rapist, obviously. But, you know, just give people who, especially people who are, like, recovering from, like, religious trauma, like, some space, I guess, to be allowed to grow.
Think of them like variables in a series of algebraic equations.
That's like negative helpful.
Maybe it would be easier to decide what skills you want first, and then pick the stats you want to focus on. There's a little questionnaire thing here.
Oh, I love questionnaires. And just think, with a real-life demon, you're sure to know all the right answers.
I don't think that's how...
Okay, first question. Would you rather gather herbs for magic potions with your mother, or work at a forge and smelt armor with your father?
Potions, of course. Assuming you can concoct an aphrodisiac.
Potions? I can't deny that a good love potion might come in handy.
Okay, next. A thief is stealing your milk delivery.
Kidnap the thief, tie her up in the barn, then milk her until she repays what she stole.
actually does sound kind of exciting. But I can't say that out loud.
Why not? It's D&D.
Why not? Will your little friends start to blush?
About milking the thief?
It's Dungeons and Dragons. It's not real. Oh, is she afraid it's gonna happen?
Use my magic potion to turn the thief into a cow.
That isn't one of the options.
What's the use of being a demon if you can't have a little fun?
Well, if it's D&D, anything's an option.
I keep
What's
thinking that's like...
use of being a demon if you can't have a little fun?
Okay, what were we saying?
I thought she was talking about like sexiness, not like actually turning the thief into a cow. I thought she was embarrassed to say that to Avery because that's like way too spicy.
Oh.
Like, oh, I'm gonna like milk this person, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, you missed the part where you turn them into a cow.
Yes.
Milking
and then
boobs.
you're sitting there being like, yeah, I don't understand what the big deal is, and I was like, that's like a weird
That's missing
thing to
a
just
key
pop-
word. You missed like such a key word. Like, you turn them into a cow and milk them. But I guess if you're a cow, if you got turned into a cow, what would you rather, like, have your boobs be milked or be turned into a cow and have your boobs be milked?
Oh, gross.
I'm just saying, what would you rather do?
No.
You have to answer the question.
I don't have to
You
choose.
have to
This
choose.
isn't
Choose or else.
I'm not the only one who missed the cow part.
All right,
Did we
Chad,
all miss the cow part?
would you rather be milked as a human from your nipples, or would you rather be turned into a cow to be milked?
Well,
These are your options.
I thought that... Okay, I had the impression...
Oh no, Willow added the cow part to make it more tame. Okay. All right.
Okay,
See,
so I got it right.
You were right,
Which was
you were
that
right.
it was...
either way, just the milking, I think it's fine. I would rather stay as a human and just have my regular boobs get milked.
I think it's because, like, I just find the idea of pregnancy and breastfeeding, not, like, for other people, but for myself, like, disgusting.
That's why they make horror movies about it.
I think I would just rather be turned into a cow, so at least it's, like, something totally different.
The movie Alien is about pregnancy. And other things. No one ever believes me. I'm like, it's literally about that. Like, there's no question.
Why do I feel even more frustrated when I agree with you?
You're feeling frustrated? Oh, don't worry. Once we get home, I'll help you take care of that.
Willow, I'm glad you're finding ways to enjoy yourself. It's my fault for making you play a game that can't hold your interest.
Okay, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. You should have been able to say roll for initiative or something.
Should we do something else?
Hey, I said I'd play.
Maybe it would be easier to start with a fantasy character in mind, to sort of orient yourself towards what you want your experience to be like.
Kind of like a cool alter ego? Someone you wish you could be in your daydreams?
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
What's your character?
I am Valerie Proudwing, Queen of the Fairies.
Oh, awesome.
For 10 generations, my noble lineage has ruled over the Greenwood. But when the demons befouled our innocent homeland, I set aside my sovereign duties to...
Whoa. That's a lot more intricate than what I expected.
I wanted to hear more, Willow.
Well, as I mentioned, I mean, she's a character I've had for a while now.
Oh, is Avery...
What about you, Willow?
We saw that one picture, and I was wondering if that picture was Avery. Remember that picture we saw?
I don't.
The picture of the fairy?
Oh, on, like, the Steam page.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Willow, the Wicked Witch. I realized I had magic powers when I accidentally killed a man. Then a talking cat led me to a mentor who tried to help me use my powers.
Oh, it sounds great, Willow.
It's not all roses. I got possessed by an annoying, lewd succubus who won't leave me alone. That bad, huh?
Willow, did you go through my Game Master Guide?
What's a game master's?
Hold
It's
on.
okay, Willow. I'm not mad or anything. I mean, the campaign is supposed to be a secret, but we can work with this.
Go ahead.
Bisected Brioche says it's not a D&D game until someone uses it to get over their gender issues.
And that's why I think 11 from Stranger Things is the same person as Will. The end.
I honestly have no clue what you're talking about.
It's just, if you're already possessed by a demon,
Excuse me?
Oh, brother.
Did I hear you right? Demon possession?
I guess there's nothing wrong with your hearing. Too bad the same can't be said for your writing, huh? Right? Lydia, aren't you gonna say I'm going to hell or something?
I'm turning the other cheek, Willow.
Whatever.
But, since you brought up the subject of hell,
Thank you so much for the bits, Blue Shirt. I don't get to watch much anymore, but have some love and support. Thank you so much, Blue
Thank
Shirt.
you.
And thank you for subscribing, Sea Salty Bye, for 6 months in a row. I'm late, but thankfully I still got to catch this. I'm super excited to watch you guys play this super cool gay witch simulator. Thank you so much.
Oh, here we go.
I don't understand, Willow. You said you were an atheist. So why in the world would you say you're possessed by a demon?
oh, it's not what you think.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's a role-playing game, Lydia. Make-believe, you know? Ever heard of dryads and demons?
As a matter of fact, I have. My church told me it's associated with practicing witchcraft.
What could have given them that idea?
You could pretend to be a witch if you'd like, or a knight, or a forest sprite. Anything that suits your fancy, really. You're welcome to join us if you want.
He's inviting Lydia? Over my dead body.
Why not? She's certainly easy on the eyes.
You know what? I think I will stick around.
Is Zarcy gonna get us to, like, flirt with Lydia?
Yeah, and then we'll fuck the religion out of her.
Because we had been, like, thinking about this, like, earlier in the game. We were like, are we gonna
Enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
And Lydia will grow as a character and be
yeah.
like, wait, maybe religious zealousy is not a good idea because of new information, aka demon sex.
Yeah.
And maybe afterwards we can all go to Bible study together.
Ugh. Please tell me we're not doing that. I spent an entire lifetime studying the Bible. Isn't that enough?
Don't worry, I wouldn't go in a million years.
Now, how do you play?
First, you've got to make a character sheet.
What now?
It's like a little resume for your pretend you. If you were magical. You get it?
If I was magical?
Oh.
If you're confused, we can try a questionnaire. Okay, first question. Would you rather gather herbs for magic potions with your mother, or work at a forge and smelt armor with your father?
Armor. In Ephesians 6:10, it says to put on the armor of God so you may take your stand against the devil's schemes.
Oh, please! Like a little chainmail's ever gonna stop me.
Let's just skip that one for now. Okay, next. A thief is stealing your milk delivery.
I'd leave out some biscuits for him as well.
Avery said this was a thief, not Santa.
As you said, there's nothing wrong with my hearing. Luke 6:29. If a man takes your coat, give him your shirt as well.
I'd like to see Lydia take off her shirt.
Oh.
I don't believe this. You've managed to turn dryads and demons into Bible study.
What's the matter, Willow? Are you jealous that I figured out the proper answers? Envy is one of the 7 deadly sins, you know.
Technically, Lydia, there are no right or wrong answers. You're just supposed to be answering them how your character would. Maybe that's it. You're just answering them as Lydia would.
Did I miss the part where I had to pretend to be an entirely different person?
It's my fault. I didn't explain it right.
Alright, let her. Why is he making so many rules?
Lydia, if you'd like, you can play as one of my characters. Maybe someone very different from yourself? Why not take a look at this one?
The succubus character. Are you asking me to play the villain?
I prefer games that explore the nuance between good and evil, but essentially, yeah.
Says here she was turned when she was seduced by... Hold on. Your villain is a homosexual?
See? this is all getting gears turned in her head, and then she starts playing in it, and then she's like, wait, maybe being homophobic is bad.
Well, technically yes, but I didn't really intend for the message of the campaign to be that homosexuals are...
Monsters? Demonic?
Guilty as charged.
Sinners intent on destroying the moral fabric of our society?
Self-denial is the real sin, hun.
Did Cersei just clock her?
That's the language of your Christian club, right?
Yes, it sure is. But Willow,
Yeah, I thought so. I'd love to tell her off.
Give me your mouth for a minute.
If God wants to tell me who I can and cannot fuck, she can tell me herself. Wow, that was so sick.
Felt good, didn't it?
Surely you're not suggesting that God is.
I just feel like Lydia's like a repressed homosexual.
I believe God is imaginary. What does it matter if your imaginary friend is a man or a woman? Now leave us the fuck alone.
Please don't play this game, Willow. That's all I'm going to say.
Look at that little walk of hers, trying to catch your eye like that.
Did you really need to go that far, Willow? I mean, even if she was ignorant, that's hardly the best way to educate people.
Okay, Avery, nobody owes her any time, but yes, you're right.
I get like that the whole thing where it's like, yeah, like if you like yell and scream at people, you're probably not going to win them over. At the same time, it's just like,
We're just trying to have a good time here, Lydia.
yeah.
Yeah,
And at the same time, it's like when people are just like extremely toxic and shitty to you, I feel like it's asking a lot for people to be just like, oh, but you always have to be the bigger person. You always have to respond with kindness. You always have to work to educate these people who clearly want you to fucking die. Like, you know, come on. I get it. But it's like, that's a lot to ask of people.
If you have the energy that day, go ahead. If you don't have the energy that day, don't do it. The end. Like, just don't do it. But I do have a feeling, just the way that Lydia talks and stuff, it feels like she has, like, something else going on in her head.
Bisexual Brioche says, oh no, Avery's a centrist.